The mission today is to sharpen your swords and get you ready for battle. It's time to fine-tune your craft and make you the best in what you do. The mission is to equip you to help anyone purchase what they need. We'll share the best advice from the best in their industry. You'll be listening to a conversation you wish you had with the mentors you wish you had. Take what makes sense to you and makes you better in your career. You guys, Bruce Lee said it best. Absorb what is useful and discard what is not.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Commission Mission. I'm Micah Henderson.
And I'm Eric Gerace, and I'm really excited today, Micah, with our guest. This is someone that have a very important role in my life. He's been not only a friend, but a mentor, and working with him, he's basically changed my life. So I got into real estate investing early on in the mid 2010s, and when we had a hurricane here in Panama City, I lost 2 deals that day, and it really put a hurt on me. I didn't know what I was going to do, and at that point, I gave up. All I saw was the problem of, oh no, there's no houses anywhere, and I went back to work full-time in a construction job. Yeah. Misery, trading my life and my time for freedom for $1. And so,
going back to that 9 to 5, when you were used to setting your own schedule and really had much more control of your life that the real estate investing and how sales can really give somebody.
Yeah, and out of the blue, I get a call from this gentleman. I'm not going to introduce him yet. And we had worked together on a project about 4 or 5 years prior, and he calls me out of the blue asking me if I would be interested in doing some real estate deals with him. And I tried to talk him out of it by giving him just a little bit of time I was available to do it. And he said, great, let's do it. And working with him since then, what I've realized about this guy, aside from the fact that he's a marketing genius, that he's a research genius, is that he never saw problems. He only saw a solution. And it completely changed the way I viewed business, real estate deals, whatever it was, interactions with family members. I mean, it's life-changing once you get this.
When somebody can look at a Category 5 hurricane and see opportunity, that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And so it is my absolute pleasure to introduce not only one of my best friends, my comrade is Rinat Khaybullin. And the thing I love about this gentleman is he has a heavy, thick Russian accent, but his brain does not think with an accent. And so it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Rinat Khaybullin.
Hey, Rinat.
Thank you, guys. Eric, I really appreciate all your introduction words. And yes, I remember at that time when we come back second time to the new project and you made this decision. And I see that this show that you run right now, it's the one of the tree that grew up from the seeds that we planted at that time. So I also have a lot of fun working with you, knowing you, and develop friendship. And the most important, you are a great example that when you planting right seeds and watering that right way, taking care, the garden will grow. And you did it.
That's a fact.
So Rinat, one of the things that I would like you to kind of share with our guest today is how you use market trends, economic trends, to develop solutions. Because that was one of the things that I noticed right away. Rinat and I, when we first started, we would make joint calls, right? We would do some marketing, leads would come in, and then he would make the call with me. And one of the first things I noticed right away was, even though the guest or the potential client was telling us no, and adamantly no, sometimes they were angry.
No.
I mean, angry no's at some of the things, because we were talking about wholesale lease options. And it sounds very scammy to people when you start to describe a process that's really intricate and involved. And so people were angry at him. And what was amazing to me was his ability to change these hard no's, angry no's into a yes.
Yeah.
In just a matter of minutes. And it was like magic to me to watch it. And I realized with myself, when I would go into a cold calling situation or trying to earn new business from people that I didn't know, no's would shut me down sometimes. Like, okay. And especially if they were adamantly about their no, I would back off. And I learned from Rinat.
Rinat, how do you do that? How do you turn that hard, angry no and just keep moving forward in the conversation?
One of the way that works pretty well, I always ask people question when they say no, or they just rejected something that you try to introduce. And I tell them, hey, do you agree that the problem that you have, and you definitely have the problem, this is why we're having this conversation, based on the point that we don't know what we don't know.
And you're kind of starting off with common ground. Like, this is the problem. We can acknowledge that.
Yeah. I just turn them to the point where they will accept what I sharing with them, telling me, yes, I agree. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And I start this with absolutely fundamental message that is common for all people who live today. Our problems, and you can just confirm it in your case, in the most cases, arising from we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
And as soon as we have understanding what we don't know, it's 90% of success, because if you know what you don't know, it's just question of time to find solution, and problem will go away. So when people say something like that, I tell them, hey guys, we're here really just to open your eyes and introduce you to something that, as I see, you don't know about. And the beauty is that if you like it, and if you like to learn more, we will be more than happy to share with you all details. And after that, you have more options to make educational decision, and your solution will be solved. And if you decide to do it with us, we'll be able to help you, and it will be a win-win situation. Can I explain you why?
And an example of that is, like I shared, I did real estate investing. I was a wholesaler for a number of years until the hurricane hit. And then when Rinat and I teamed up and started doing lease options, I still, at that point, did not have a real estate license. I was actually proud of the fact that I figured out how to do real estate without a real estate license, and was adverse to even getting one until Rinat opened my eyes and showed me what I was leaving behind, what we were leaving on the table without the license. And one of that was leveraging other people's time, other people's money. So let's share your thoughts a little bit, Rinat, on leverage and not the importance of not being an island, and especially in this day and time with coronavirus and shutdowns and essential and non-essential jobs, why leverage is so important to success.
Yes, leverage is a very important point in any person's life, and it's only the one part of the whole sentence, because we're talking about, in our situations, in our cases, in our business, leverage abundance. When you create synergy and leverage, not taking advantage of other people's time or other people's money, but vice versa. Show them how they can leverage their time and their money together with you and create this formula of success that we like and that works for us extremely well. And it's very simple. I can show you something like that. It's like 1 and 1 plus 1 equal what? And I always use this very simple exercise, asking people what you see right now here as 1 + 1 = what?
2.
No,
And
it's not 2.
Well,
Is it 11?
It's
Is
11.
Exactly. And this is
I'm thinking on this level right now. You guys are
yeah.
up here.
So you see, it's another topic that we want to cover today. For most of the people, it will be just 2. But for some people who will go out of the box and who will turn on their imagination, it will be 11. And this is very, very logic answer. And many people say, if you tell that you cannot, or if you say that you can, you're right. In both cases. So here, exactly the same, going back to leverage, that we're not talking about taking advantage of other people's time and money. We're talking about creating synergy when we can put together something and create way much more just simple arithmetics. It will be infinite results when you do it right way, on a base of highly integrity, and showing people that they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
But give me a chance to explain to you. And if you like it, I will be more than happy to work with you. If not, at least now you know what you don't know.
And there's such a powerful thing to be the person who knows what they don't know. And to be able to provide that solution, and building that team, and being able to make something exponentially larger than what you could have produced yourself, and almost creating abundance for everybody to live in, and not to be that island. I like the way you put that. Building a team not only in what you do, because different people have different strengths that can fill a void in an area that you aren't, but not only within your what you do, that you can't be a master of everything, right? I am not a master of law. I'm not a master of medicine. That's why you have a team. That's why I have a lawyer. That's why I have a doctor. That's why I have an accountant. Because you can't master everything. Other people have different strengths for you to work with, and vice versa.
Yeah, and that was one of the important factors when Rinat mentioned getting a real estate license. Hey, Eric, I think you should get your real estate license. I said, okay. And he says, now, what brokerage should we join? Mm. And so we did some research on brokerages, and he had that strategy in mind. Like, how can we leverage other people's success? And so as we started looking at brokers, we found EXP, and it's a cloud brokerage, and they allow you almost to operate like a broker, even though you're just have a sales agent license. And what I mean by that is I can enroll other agents to join my team. But when we decided on what team we were going to join, it was just, this blew me away. Rinat suggested that we find and track down the top producers and the top team builders within EXP and interview them. And then whatever one we had the synergy with, that's who we were going to move forward. So he was already doing the 1 + 1 strategy when we were interviewing the top producers in EXP. And when we found one that was going to provide support to us for whoever we enrolled under me, they would have access to my sponsors' support system and upline. It was a no-brainer for us to join that. And now I live in Florida, but I make money on deals in Detroit, Michigan, and Seattle, Washington. I have another teammate here locally in Panama City, and we're growing that team. It allows you to grow it not just nationally, but EXP's in, I think, 16 countries at this time, and they're adding more all the time. So this becomes global. So it's just phenomenal when you start to apply the 1 + 1 strategy and leveraging other people's time and money on it. It expands what you can do on your own tenfold.
Don't want to be an island.
Right. Do you have any thoughts on that, Rinat?
Yes, and this is another good example. AXP model and platform that and why they're so successful right now, because again, there are 100 other brokerages, but if you ask the owner of this brokerage company, if he really enjoy what he's doing and what the success ratio and what the biggest problem, and the biggest problem would be they tell that, I always have conflict of interest when I try from one side to invite people with the highest potential to be successful agent in my brokerage. And I invest my time and money teaching them how to be successful. And what at the end? As soon as they reach some level, when they feel that they understand what they want to understand, they tell me, thank you very much and bye. I will open my own brokerage. I want to be my own boss. So each broker outside of eXp Realty has this problem. They, from one side, want their agent to be successful, but from another side, they keep it just to a certain point, because if they go further, they have higher and higher probability that this agent will leave and be his competitor on his local market. Because again, most of the brokers, they work only on the local markets where they live. And with EXP, what the genius about their platform, that they created a combination of factors when you don't have any conflict of interest to invite people to join your team under your leadership, and you don't have any problem to teach them absolutely everything what you know and what you don't know, maybe, and learn from them and grow together. And they find solution how you can start to develop your business outside of your local market, not only nationwide in US, but as Eric mentioned, in many other countries, and they're growing. During this year, they plan to add more markets, and the total will be more than 25 markets worldwide. And now, as real estate agent, Eric, who was in the past real estate investor and was able to focus only on local market here in Panama City, now he is developing business nationwide. There are no any conflict of interest. Right. He's sharing with their team members absolutely everything what he knows, and they grow together, creating this formula of success. 1 + 1 = what?
11.
And you know what's awesome about that equation? If you add another +1, it's not 3, it's 111.
Exponential growth. Yeah. There it is. And I've noticed that a lot. And it seems like that owner of that brokerage and that hypothetical you gave us did not have the abundance mindset. And I've noticed that a lot in sales, where the really good salesmen or in any industry, and call it insurance, call it investments, call it anything, is ambitious. And because of that ambition, it's almost like not a paradox, maybe a catch-22. At some point, they're going to develop, and they want more. And the only way to get that is going out on their own and starting anew and becoming competition. But if you have the abundance mindset, that there's plenty out there to wish them luck. But the problem then becomes, how do you make someone satisfied to stay with you? And not just for the limited time of getting them started and, getting to a point where they are, beyond your mentorship and beyond what you can teach them. And it's, opening up the whole world to them and, giving them the ability to stay and still grow.
Like in this life, when you can find something really good it just begin to attract more and more even better things, in any area of personal life or business life. And again, going back to this point, like leverage, formula of success, 1 + 1 + 1 = 11 or equal 111, and not to be island, because again, in this world, why we're in this world, not only just for ourselves, correct? And if you will just focusing on yourself, you will miss the whole world that other people have, whole universes that each of us has inside and outside, if you have this abundance mindset and always looking for opportunities where you can create 1 + 1 = 11. And the beauty is, when you begin to build this network, attract right people in your community, in your tribe, it's creating another great opportunities that you mentioned before. Each of us has our positive and negative sides. Let's be honest and open. Each of us has some experience and knowledge in some areas where most of the people don't know. So when you have this community that connected on the base of abundance and on the base of this formula of success, 1 + 1 = 11, you eventually give opportunity to each person to be focused on what he is doing the best, because the areas where he has some weaknesses would be covered by other members of the community. So do you see, all these just create incredible growth for community overall and you as individual, because if by nature or by any other social factors, you was able to reach certain level of professionalism in certain areas, you want to focus in this area and grow further and further, because the results of your focus will be spread between all team members. And I think this is very important to understand for each entrepreneurial person who already in business or who wants to open business, that if he will keep everything for himself, thinking about, I don't want to share this information with anyone because they can steal it from me, they will be my competitor. In today's world, it's almost impossible to get and build successful business with this mindset, and vice versa. If you find out some great solution as an entrepreneur that you can provide other people who have problems, you have to start to think how to build your team where you will be able to create 1 + 1, because as a result of this approach, you will be able to help much more people to solve their problem using your solution. And this is very simple principle for any business success. Just find problem and start provide solution. The more people you will be able to help, the more successful business will be. And
I love how simple that is.
Yeah,
it's that simple. And I want to say it was Zig Ziglar who said, you help enough people find what they want and help them get it, you get what you want. But yeah, I love how you break that down in such a simplistic way that it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue with that.
And one of the things that I heard as you were talking was your voice to me, follow up. So there are times when we do take all the steps, we are headed in the right direction, and we either hit obstacles or challenges or people say no. And one of the things that Rinat taught me right away was no doesn't mean no forever. It means no right now. And so he always would say, Eric, you have to follow up, follow up, follow up. So let's talk a little bit about follow up, Rinat, and the importance of that, and some of the results that you've seen from following up.
Yes, follow up in any business is crucial, and particularly in real estate. And it's based just on very common practicing that each real estate professional or real estate investor knows that when people wants to buy or sell their property, they come to this point not overnight, number one, and they cannot exercise this need overnight either. It's real estate. It takes time. And this is why there is statistics show that any seller, even in today's environment with coronavirus or any buyer, before they will reach the point when they decide to start to take real actions, they do research. They just go and try to find what's going on in the market, what the value of the how they want to sell, or as a real estate agent or real estate investor, obviously have to do marketing consistently. And this is very important word for any business, consistently do marketing. And obviously you try to reach right audience. And as Eric says, yes, the seller that you reach first time can say no. And again, for many different reasons. And what you have to do just to tell him, hey, I understand that maybe no for right now, but can I share with you what option exists that you maybe don't know about? And you don't have to make decision right now. Let me just explain to you what you can do. And if one day you decide that you're ready to make steps toward either solution that you have in your plate, just let me know, because I, number one, will explain you what the difference between all these options. And number two, if you decide to work with me and my team, it will be a really win-win situation, and we'll definitely be able to provide you the best solution. And the most important, we want to encourage you to compare with other options. That's it. And in marketing, you know that we all are bombarded right now with tons of information every day, every hour, every minute. And it takes usually between 5-7 touch points before our brain will start to remember about something, and even more before our brain will decide that, yes, it makes sense for me, let me do it. So when you understand these fundamental principles, you will see the results of follow up. And one of the metaphors that I'm using for my students, my joint venture partners, my friends, that, hey, if you want to grow your garden, you have to start with the seeds. And when you plant the seeds, a long time, you don't see any results. And if you don't do anything, these seeds will die. And vice versa, if you will take care of these seeds, watering, fertilizing, nurturing, one day you will see green, real green. Yeah. And in business, you know what we're talking about.
One of the metaphors that he used very early on when we started working together was the Babel tree. And the Babel tree, you plant the seed and you have to water, I think it's 6 years before it sprouts. So you imagine putting a seed in the ground and having to water it every day for 6 years, and you don't know if that seed is there or dead or dying or what. And then when it does sprout, it sprouts like 90 feet in 30 days or something crazy.
And I think bamboo is very similar, where it does a lot of growth underneath first, but you know, before it actually comes out of the ground. But to have the perseverance and know that something's working and that something's happening, and to keep on watering it and keep on tending to it. And then it takes off. That's
and the tools awesome. He shared with me, like initially when we first started working together, was we just used a spreadsheet. We shared it on Google Drive. We had our leads listed up there, and we had notes of when they were contacted and what was said and what was transposed, and it was easy for us to maintain our follow-up. So it's not something expensive. You don't have to have an assistant or some expensive software to do this. It can be done very easily as long as you're keeping track of it. And we've now migrated to where we use a CRM.
Yep.
And for me, that's life-changing because it automates a lot of that process. And the more leads and the more clients as we get over time, we're constantly staying in contact with them through our CRM system. And that just, it nurtures those leads. It keeps them warm over time instead of having, because a lot of mistakes I think that new or struggling entrepreneurs, people that are self-employed or working on a commission basis make is that they start a follow-up system, or they'll reach out and do an amazing marketing, and then they don't have any system in place to follow up with them or to make it consistent. And that was what Rinat is key is consistency.
Yeah, and it's a very universal principle to any sort of business is following up, and timing's everything. Thank you very much for sharing that with us today, Rinat.
I think that's getting close to our time here today. And so again, Rinat, I want to thank you for being here today. Really, I want to thank you for changing my life, taking me out of that construction job and into a job where now I have time to be with my family and spend time. I have time in my day to where we can do a podcast like this and share our knowledge and our experience with people that are struggling out there. Whereas when I was doing construction, I was working 70 hours a week, I didn't have time for anything but sleep, and I was missing out on my kids growing up and
life,
time with my wife. And so thank you for all that you've done for us, for me, and I look forward to being able to help as many people as in the same way that you've helped me.
Knowing you and who you are, and letting a little thing like a disastrous hurricane knock you off your path, and going back to a 9-to-5, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people, that is what they need. They need that structure. You're not one of those people. And Rinat brought you back to where you should be, where you thrive, and that's in this life of interactions with people and setting your own schedule. So
I'd given
amazing.
Up. I'd given up on life. I had reserved to myself to be miserable and in pain because I was doing heavy lifting, really hard work. And I just said, this is what my life is going to be like in order for me to be able to provide security for my family.
Right.
And it was, life-changing is an understatement for that phone call that when he shared with me lease options and getting back in. It was really funny about that was I told him, Rinat, I can't work weekends. I'll give you 3 hours on Sunday and 1 hour a night. And I was thinking, there's no way he's going to say yes to that. And he did. He said, great, let's start today, now.
That mindset took something that should deter someone, discourage somebody, and be a negative. And he said, I'll take that and I'll water it and I'll be consistent and I'm going to grow that. The other really big thing that I got.
And 30 days later, I had quit my job. I'd already done a real estate deal and I quit my job. So
the other big principle, the universal principle that when it comes to really business, but definitely sales and really with people, is the following up that we've all heard. Timing is everything. And if you did a good job on your first interactions, acknowledging problems, letting them know that they don't know something, providing the solution, that right then might not be the time because of all kinds of different variables that happen in people's lives. If you do a good job following up, and just like Rinat said, the 5 to 7 touch points, when the timing is right, and because you followed up, you're going to get that business.
Yeah, and there was early on too, when I started working with Rinat, there was a statistic that I found that was just mind-blowing to me, is because I was going into real estate, was only 25% of people that use a realtor use them again.
Yeah, they didn't do something right the first time, apparently.
Well, no, it's they never follow. They didn't stay in touch.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't follow up, and it was, I can't remember the exact stat, but it was insane, the amount of, it was all contributed to, I don't know, my realtor stopped contacting me. So I found someone else.
Follow up.
Follow up.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Thank you, Rinat, for your time. This is the Commission Mission. Tune in next time. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Commission Mission. It is our mission to increase your commission. If you got any gold nuggets out of the episode today, make sure you don't miss any more. Click, like, subscribe, whatever that action is for the platform that you're watching this on. Make sure you don't miss any more good nuggets, and help us help you.
Yeah, one of the things that new or struggling entrepreneurs struggle with is asking for the sale, asking for what you need, and they're afraid of rejection. But I'll give you a sample of that exactly right now. Is if this helped you in any way, please share this with 3 friends of yours, 3 people that you think would benefit from what was discussed on these podcasts. And
friends in sales, anyone in your organization that can benefit from this needs to hear it. Thanks, everybody.